been so much stuff going down this week. The excitement from the football scene. We've got all the latest stories and our thoughts right here. Sports in 16 minutes. I'm Femi. I'm excited to have you join us today. I've got Okpeyemi Imoru live and direct right here in the studio. Okpe, it's good to have you as well. And what's the word when the month is ending? It's been a very hectic month, but we're glad the month is finally coming to a close. We're looking forward to the second half of the new year.
Yes. It's been an exciting week. The month has been good.
Any fun stuff this month for you?
Not really.
Okay.
Not really. But you promised me one.
Ooh, here we go. Here we go. You know what? Before we start pointing fingers, let's go for a break. When we come back, we'll read through all the stories we've got from the Nigerian scene and share our thoughts with you. So let's start with football stories. Now, the leagues have come to a close and automatically we're now in the off-season. But the Super Eagles of Nigeria immediately have started giving us some back-to-back good vibes. Okay, this week, Nigeria beat Ghana. Now, you know the rivalry between Nigeria and Ghana. And it took this rivalry all the way to London in the Unity Cup. Nigeria beat Ghana, setting up a fixture later today. The game is live already as we speak against Jamaica. But first was Ghana. Now Jamaica on the field of play. What's your thought on the Unity Cup?
I think it's exposing most especially the home-based player. I was happy yesterday when Nigeria played against the Ghanaian team.
You're talking about a few days ago, actually.
Yeah, a few days ago. Few days ago when Nigeria played the Ghanaian team, 3 home-based players were introduced in the first lineup. The person of Sikiru Alimi, Ismail Sadiq, he was the one that assisted the goal from Seri Desires, and also we have one other player, I can't actually remember now. It's so good. That's the most happiest point for me because we never expected Eric Chell to introduce them.
He said it's an opportunity for him to try a new combination.
Yeah, not playing them in the first,
No, but if you don't play them in the friendly, where do you want to play them? Because we've got, the game against Russia.
Yeah.
A lot of these home-based players were not invited.
Exactly.
So if you don't play them in this game against Ghana and in the game against Jamaica, where else do you want to play them?
I'm just happy.
I thought it was a very good performance also. And while the worry about can Nigeria qualify for the World Cup will start again once we get into the World Cup qualifying scene, I think that this is good enough to say, you know what, we've given some of these players the opportunity. A lot of them will not be home-based players by the start of next season, to be fair to you. Before the start of CHAN, many of these players will not be home-based, but at least it gives the manager the opportunity to see what they have done and obviously gauge them moving forward. So the game is live right now. We've got Nigeria against Jamaica. Let's follow up that story. We'll keep you updated as we get the details right here. Sports in 60 minutes. Let's stay with Nigerian football story, where the league is over. And for weeks, for months, we deliberated on the battle, placement, and everyone can say it without asking questions that Remo Stars obviously one of the most impressive teams winning the title.
Exactly.
Ikorodu City, the most improved team, if you can use that word. Abia Warriors also impressed a lot of people. But what for you was the high point or the low point, in whichever way you want to use the MPFL for the season?
I think it's basically Ikorodu City coming, the first half of the season, people were like, maybe them coming to the league is a fluke, but, they gave us something to talk about.
Yeah.
Nobody saw them, finishing in that high. Yeah, they wanted to qualify for the Continental. That is a big one for me.
That's a big ceiling.
Yeah, that's a big one for me, but them maintaining the MPFL, in the MPFL, it's a big high for me. And the low for me was Aqua United being relegated. It's nobody saw that coming. They have a terrible season, coupled with maybe the players or
poor management, really.
Poor management. Then with Lobby Star last season was on top of the world, and this season they were nowhere to be found. I think administrative level, a whole lot happening in the camp of Lobby Stars. Then Sunshine Stars too, having been relegated, not playing in Osun State having to come and adopt Ijebu-Ode, all those circumstances to warrant them to, relegate. I think the most interesting part for me is just Ikorodu City, staying in the league.
For me, there are quite a lot of things that are very interesting. We've mentioned the high points, right? The Heartland story is disturbing, and I say disturbing because
I don't even want to mention it because
you bought your slot.
Yeah, so
you bought your slot,
and you didn't do nothing to be sure for. I think the governor will be disappointed because there was a whole lot expected from that, team. They brought in
they brought in someone who was aspiring to be the Super
Eagles manager in the person of Emmanuel and Monique.
But I think in the 2 windows they brought in about 20, 25 players.
Yeah,
2 windows.
Yeah,
if not even up to 30. I'm actually being very.
So I think that was why I don't even want to go there because it keeps it's a thing of it's a shame having to go back to relegation. Are they going to buy another slot?
Well, in time will tell. It depends on which teams get promoted from the NNL. We'll have to see what that one turns out. Then we'll know. As it stands, I do not think any of the Lagos teams are really vying for that promotion slot. Many people were hoping that we'll get maybe a Sporting Lagos, Smart City FC, someone. But on the stands, oh my goodness, it's a very tough season. 1472 have been demoted completely because of their performance, missed out on a few games. Heartland is one of those teams, right? The second team for me that also disappointed because I quite pointed out teams that impressed, and I agree with that. Rangers also disappointed. Now, unfortunately, Princefield is not in the studio today because while we do banter, and we have to see that if you win the title last season, there must be at least some form of a challenge. The challenge doesn't mean you win the title. Be in the top 3. Be in the top 4. If you even made the top 4, it would be good. Now, they lost games in venues where they shouldn't even lose. At home. They were losing games at home. Now, I know that you tell me, Femi, home away syndrome. I'm saying be as exciting as you were when you won the title the first year. Injuries are part of every football team's history. It's not an excuse. You can't say because we had injuries, we did not win that. Because why you're saying now, Remoto had injuries. Because, for example, Sekiro Alimi's numbers this year were very poor. For his own standards, were very poor. Right? But that doesn't mean Remo will not find goals from somewhere else. So the same thing applies to other departments. But look, I had a great time.
But for me, Femi, I wouldn't blame Rangers. I think they lost one of their key players in the person of Kazim. He played in the midfield. And I think there is a whole lot happening with Rangers that is not really open to us all. Winning the league in Nigeria and trying to maintain it or being in the top 4, as the case may be, like you just mentioned, I think is a big deal. But, with Rangers, a whole lot, why we are here seated talking about it is because of the standard they've maintained.
Set the bar yourself.
They've set the bar for themselves. But I wouldn't blame them that much because the league is not smiling.
Because everybody, the likes of Aimba, Canopilas, all disappointed.
Yeah,
Canopilas still a bit come ça because newly promoted. So we're expecting a lot from a team that is newly promoted. But when you have like Ahmed Musashiri Abdullahi, Rabiu Ali, who is the second top scorer in the league. Come on.
So for me, I wouldn't blame Rangers that lot. But for the fact that at least they stayed in the league and they are not going to the continent. I think it will give them boost to know what they did wrong this season, then to take it from there next season. All
right, so that's our review of the MPFL for 24-25 season. There are loads of thumbs up, kudos as well to the management, starting and finishing the league early enough. So we're looking forward to the CAF Champions League, where there is Remo Stars and Rivers United. Confederation Cup from the league, via the league, is Abia Warriors. We'll wait for what the cup results will be and then tell you that one. One last story before we leave the local football scene, or at least our penultimate story before we leave the local football scene. Super Falcons are also in action right now against Cameroon. It's a double header. There's one now that we won next month, just before the Africa Cup of Nations for Women, WAFCON. Now, I know Okpa is very excited about this story. She's also followed women's football in Africa very much here. But you know what? Let's just see it. When we come back next time, we'll look through the 2 results. We'll review our chances, and hopefully we'll get our Mr. Optimistic talking about Princefield in the studio. Tell us how far our team can go. We're trying to connect with Prince. We're talking about Prince. So yeah, that reminds me. Still in Abeokuta, even though the festival has finished. I don't know what he's still doing there. We'll call him and get his thoughts about how the whole event went down and what his thoughts about in terms of next year. We're going to Cross River for the National Sports Festival. right, so welcome back, sports in 60 minutes right here. Let's go over now to more stories. Well, everyone has been talking about this, and it's no longer secret. It's now open. It's confirmed. Real Madrid will have a new manager for the Club World Cup when it begins in June, right?
Yeah.
The question here, right, is the man who's in charge, Xabi Alonso, a former Real Madrid player, someone who's been a part of the Real Madrid Casillas system, will he be a success or will he be a failure based on everything you've seen? Now, because he went unbeaten in Germany, doesn't mean it will automatically translate to Real Madrid. We've seen successful managers
come to Real Madrid and fail. Yeah.
Right? A good example is Rafa Benitez. It's great success at Liverpool, went to Chelsea and also won the Europa League. However, when he went over to Real Madrid, didn't work out according to plan. Same as Julian Lopetegui. Also didn't work out. Was good with Spain, right? But didn't work out. Let's get your thoughts. Do you think it will be a success? Why? It will be a failure? Why?
So for me, I think with what Xabi Alonso has done with Bayern Leverkusen, yeah, like you just said, that it might not work out the way it did in Germany, but I think it's something doable because I think now he will come with some of the players he knows that he can work with, and some are already leaving. So the ones left, I think, will be people that he will be able to work with. So for me, I think it will be a success for him. I think it will be a very good one for him.
So for him to have a successful team, what departments do you think in the team that Real lacks? Because this year, a lot of people mentioned defensive problems. Some say they got a problem about Mbappe. I think that was Olamide said Mbappe and Vinny Jr. playing in one team. You've got two players who don't track back. What does he need to do to have a successful team? Player sales, reorganization, mention the details.
So for me, I think, there will be player sales. Some are leaving already. They know their sales. So I think the defense area too.
Signed in-housing.
So I think one or two players in every department is needed, and it's a different ball game with Xabi Alonso, not Carlo Ancelotti. So Carlo knows why he was playing those two guys in the same department. But I think for Xabi Alonso, he will have a rethink. Is either one person is sitting down or one person is maybe if both of them are going to play, you have to recruit them in different ways. So it depends on the formula or the pattern in which is coming into play.
What I think, what I generally believe is that I think it's going to be I think defensively he's got to work on it. So
a big work.
He has a defensive problem at left back. Alaba cannot play left back. Mendy is always injured at left back. Fran Garcia has not been proven to be playing at that level for Real Madrid. They already signed in Housing, himself and Asensio are the future defenders. Rudiger is also mentioned as one of the players who will continue for next year. I also hear that Aymeric Laporte, the former Manchester City defender, who's currently at Nassr, is willing to return to Europe. So that opens the door for Real Madrid, who been interested in him. They've got Trent already on the right. So I think they're right. They're good on the right.
So it's the left now.
I think it's the left and one left-footed defender they should be searching. So while Housen is a good option, experience-wise, it'll be good for them to get a second. Militao is usually always injured. So
injured, yeah.
I also think that to solve the problem that you mentioned of the guys up front, they need to have a double pivot at the back. That's holding midfielders. So most likely Camavinga and Tchouaméni.
So I prefer Tchouaméni playing the number 4, which is called 6 in Europe. So I prefer him there instead of him playing as a defender. So I think
himself and Valverde as the holding midfielders.
Oh, I forgot Valverde. Fine player.
Giving what's his name the opportunity, Bellingham, to have that central
to
roam in midfield. Because
maybe a 10-8.
Yes, there's no way you're going to end up playing those two guys up front. It's talking about Vinny Jr. and Mbappe. It's inevitable.
You have to find a way around it.
It's inevitable. It's just that defensively you need to give your team that balance still. Okay, so those are some of our thoughts, right? The Club World Cup will obviously tell us how the story will go. We get a first glimpse of what Xabi Alonso would do. Now, that doesn't completely mean that the season will be great, but he will give his players and we know Jude Bellingham will not be there for the tournament. He's got a shoulder surgery, which will rule him out until the start of the season. But at least we'll get first glimpse of what he's planning to do. Milos Kekes, Hincapié, some of the players that we mentioned, Konate, another player they mentioned as well that could be on his way to Real Madrid. So let's see how it turns out. The transfer window opens for the team, or is currently open for teams that are going to the Club World Cup. it will close and then reopen for everybody
Okay.
else later
Yeah.
on. So we'll see what Real Madrid does. And we both agree, I think for once we both agree, that he looks like a manager that will succeed at Real Madrid.
Yeah,
He
he
looks like a
does.
manager
He
that will
does.
succeed. So best of luck coming through to Real Madrid fans. If I was a Madrid fan this season, man, for you that you know how Madrid fans are always going, we know how to win. We're always a winning team. This year, they humbled.
They were quiet all through.
humbled.
They were
They even
quiet.
fought the story about Vinny Jr. being Ballon d'Or. Ask any of them, see any of the players that deserve to be on that list now. You just said of them, humble. Ha! Okay, that's what football does. Let's head for a break. When we come back, we've got transfer stories and speculations next. Okay, well, let's go now to transfer stories. A lot of speculations are going around, but there's also some truth in many of the stories. We brought you stories from Real Madrid. At least what we know is Trent Alexander-Arnold is going to Real Madrid.
Yes,
Why Madrid have not
confirm.
confirmed the story? Madrid, have they confirmed it? Has Madrid confirmed it? I know that
No news outlets.
I know that Liverpool, he said farewell to Liverpool.
Mm-hmm.
Madrid themselves, and this year, I don't know why, it's so I'm not taking a diss at Madrid fans. But Madrid this year, surprisingly, normally Madrid will announce stories even before.
They were
Yes.
no, they are quiet
They
because
humbled them.
the way their season went, not winning.
Because
You know?
remember that Bayer Leverkusen confirmed Xabi Alonso is leaving.
Yeah,
Brazil confirmed that Alonso is coming. However, Madrid didn't say we're taking Alonso.
Sorry.
Didn't say anything about Trent. He just kept, Trent has said farewell. They've abused Trent. He just kept quiet, which is unlike Real Madrid. Normally they've announced it already. Remember Julian Lopetegui was at the World Cup in 2018. And before he even played his first game, Madrid announced that's our new coach. And Spain were like, guys, how far now? Wait, let's finish the World Cup. You announced. And he said, no, that's who we are. We lead. And that's
this
how
time
Spain
around they are
starts.
on board, so they are taking it slowly, and life will humble you.
Okay, talking about life humbling you, Cristiano Ronaldo, as you can see at the back of the screen right there, he confirmed on social media he probably will be leaving Nassr. Now, for Ronaldo haters, and I'm not talking about fans, because his fans think that, look, he's 60 goals behind 1,000 goals. He's achieved a lot in terms of his achievements at, 40 plus?
Yeah, 40 plus.
Yeah, it's 40 this year.
Yeah,
February, 85.
yeah.
It's 40, yeah. Ronaldo has scored 900 and some goals, right? And it's put him very close to that 1,000 mark. But Ronaldo finished 2 years or 3 years? 3 years at Nassr, no trophy, no major trophy.
No major trophy.
So there was no league titles in 2 years because last year was Al Hilal, Al Ittihad, no Champions League. Al Ali went on to win the Champions League, and Al Nassr were there. So Ronaldo's contract expires at the end of the year. There's stories linking him to a number of clubs up where there is Sporting Lisbon, where he started off from. There's interest there. Botafogo in Brazil. And for me, the audacious bid I saw was Wydad Casablanca. They said, look, we want Ronaldo.
We have money.
We can afford
We
it.
can afford it.
It's pretty brilliant. Ronaldo is a superstar. Anywhere he goes, dominates headlines. But if I were in Ronaldo's camp, what would I advise him to do? I think I would easily say, like you said, the chapter isn't over yet. I want to say Africa, Wydad. But I think Sporting Lisbon would be an ideal place.
I was thinking in that direction too, but I would prefer him going back to where it all started from.
I don't mind Wydad though. Just imagine CAF
Hey,
Imagine-
Defi puts chest.
Imagine CAF Champions League. And one of the draws, first round, second round is Remo Stars.
The stadium will be jam-packed.
Oh,
There will be a
We'll
stampede.
carry the whole of sports in 60 minutes. We'll leave the studio like this.
There will be a
We'll
stampede.
carry the whole studio. We'll go and sit down there. I know. I don't even mind looking for visa to go and watch Morocco. Go to Morocco.
But Femi, I got one question for you.
Go ahead, ask me.
So somebody said something online. Said Ronaldo is a distraction to Al Nassr. How true is that? Will you say that?
Again, look. I don't
That's
sound,
all he cared about
Are his
his numbers,
I agree.
himself,
I
and
agree.
all of that. That he hasn't brought anything major to
I
the
think that-
to the team.
Real Madrid realized that. And I'm sorry for sounding this way because I share that sentiment.
Okay.
I think that while he was at Real Madrid, his numbers were out of this world. But because Real Madrid's team was built to accommodate that,
Okay.
he sort of hid the deficiencies that Ronaldo was going to bring to any team. Now, remove him from Real Madrid, subsequently, Juventus, Manchester United. While he achieved great things at those teams, right, in terms of his physical numbers, those teams suffered. I think Ronaldo won Serie A title.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Juventus were winning consistently before he came there. I'm not saying it's the reason why they did not win. I'm saying Ronaldo is so good that his numbers are all that sort of comes up at the end of every season. Think about Manchester United. Scored, what, I think 18 goals. But United finished with goals difference of 0. 57 considered, 57 scored. Go the year before. United instead had more goals, fewer goals conceded. Go the year before that one, under Ole, because I think he was the reason they sacked Ole. There's this imbalance. Now, maybe Ole was also a bit too sentimental, did not see it. Juventus played a Champions League final, lost to Ronaldo 1, lost to MSN for 1. That's the Barcelona team. So you may think, how do we win the Champions League? Let's go and bring the person that has killed us many times.
Yeah.
You bring Ronaldo. Ronaldo didn't even make a Champions League semi-final with Juventus. So, again, you tell me, is it Ronaldo's fault they are shipping goals at the back? No. I will agree with you. No, it's not his fault. But it's his fault that there's some form of imbalance in the team. And it's a big ego. They said Manchester United, a lot of people were afraid because Ronaldo is walking into the dressing room. He's larger than life.
Okay.
So he walks into the dressing room,
and everybody is being carried away by his boots. Like, is Ronaldo actually sitting right beside me?
Individual, and because the way sports is now, everybody talks about individual numbers. That look at what this guy has done, 15 goals, 20. But what you bring to the team also, and that's what we mentioned.
So are you saying that?
I'm agreeing with that person.
You agree with that person saying that it doesn't bring anything to the team, just his numbers.
Numbers at the end of every season, all you can mention are Ronaldo's numbers. The club can go through a bad run, and that's my opinion. No one else has to agree with me.
But did Nassr go through a bad run? I think they are not big when it comes to.
Brought in some of the biggest names. They brought in Mane.
They brought in Ronaldo.
Brought in, what's the name of this guy? Talisca.
John Duran.
Yeah, Duran even came later on. I'm saying that his first year, Al Hilal swept the title. The next year, we felt okay.
But Al Hilal, those teams have been winning major titles
there was a lot of
before
investment
him.
in Nassr. And Ronaldo, there's no investment that comes bigger than Cristiano Ronaldo.
So, are you saying that is the soul of the team?
He is the soul. He's the heart of the team. He makes the team come together. Let's move on from that. Talk about former Manchester United manager Erik ten Hag, who played with Ronaldo, or played supervised, as I say, supervised Coach Ronaldo.
Coach Ronaldo.
Yeah, it's one of it was the reason Ronaldo left Manchester United. Right, Erik ten Hag. He's got a new job. He's smiling once again. He replaces Xabi Alonso. You know what I believe, Okwe? That guy will succeed at Bayer Leverkusen.
If
there's no if.
If a Vance and company can succeed.
What do you mean by Vance? Are you comparing him and company?
I'm not comparing him. So I'm trying to tell you how the German Bundesliga is not there.
No.
It's just not too much of a difference with Ajax and
in the Champions League. This guy would do. As one of them, if I could advise Victor Boniface, as I'm saying like this now, stay at Bayer Leverkusen.
He should leave now. Who want to buy him?
People want to buy him in January. They did not go. You don't forget how many months in January.
Who won't buy him for January?
Who won't buy him? Person won't buy him. Yes or no?
Maybe better now that Leverkusen.
I'm saying that if he stays at Leverkusen, under Erik ten Hag, Victor Boniface will cook.
If you like, you should cook and you should
let me check him. So when anything comes out in the future, I said so.
Okay, it's fine. I'm not a hater. I want him to succeed.
I don't know too. I'm not too sure.
I'm just saying.
I don't know.
I'm letting you know.
I'm not sure.
Femi, I'm letting you know.
Sure.
I'm not a hater. Congratulations to.
Everywhere now.
That's what I'm saying. That there's not much of a difference between Ajax. Where?
Man United succeeded.
He did not.
The start of this season, Okbe, he was the second most successful manager in the Premier League after Pep.
Hello, you can do Chakam for that too.
No, that's a statement of fact.
Please, like I was saying.
Pep was the only one who won more.
Can I talk?
Okay, don't be upset.
Like I was saying before he interrupted, I expected him to succeed. If he can't succeed at Bayern Leverkusen, then he should stop coaching. Okay. Because, if a Xabi Alonso can come and win trophy.
What do you mean? What's your point? You know what? I'm not going to go into this. Let's read more story. Also, you are channeling your inner principle out. I don't want this. It's too early.
Okay.
Let's go over to something that's pretty exciting to our producers. Ansu Fati is on the move. He's had a very torrid time at Barcelona since he started picking up those injuries. Moved to Brighton, didn't work out for him last year under Roberto De Zerbi. This year had game time few and far between, but we heard there is light at the end of the tunnel FC or AS Monaco are currently inching closer to his signature. The deal is agreed. All that is left is for both parties to sign, and then it will be a formality. Wish him the best of luck next year in the Champions League. We'll be right there with Monaco. They qualify for the Champions League and also the French league push. They were third on the league table behind Marseille and PSG, who won the title. So they'll be hoping to improve on that. One last story before we leave the show today. It's Manchester United. There is the update that United will do a clear out. In my brain, I'm like, as if everybody doesn't know United wants to do a clear out. Anthony played in the Conference League final. They lost to Chelsea, by the way. Alejandro Garnacho has been told he could leave after making a formal complaint that his game time had been few and far between. This year, Garnacho just had so much drama. Remember, there was a story when they said someone was leaking United's team lists. It was reported he was the one telling his brother, who will now use a burner account to put it out on social media. Casemiro also had a good push. Well, we hear his wages are very exorbitant. Tariq Malacia, you saw on there as well. Already, Patrick Dogo has come through, so that could be the left back or left wing back United are looking for. We also hear they'll probably make some moves to buy Matheus Cunha. I like Cunha.
Yeah, a very
if
fine
Cunha
player.
doesn't succeed at Manchester United, then we all agree United is the problem. Cunha is a fine player.
I think with all what is happening at United, I think United is the bigger problem than the players too.
Because I saw United in Malaysia, they lost the Malaysian team. I'm like, what?
No, they need to see. In as much as we could say, it was good they lost the Europa League too. So that they will know that they are a terrible team. Because if they had won that Europa League, they'll still feel that okay, there's something.
That was my only prayer.
Do you understand? So I think the clear out is good for Tara Malaysia. It's a very sorry case for him. Injury did not allow him, played a good part for Manchester United. For Alexander Garnacho, I think he's trying to be bigger than the team. For Casemiro, he has done well for Manchester United. I think it's set time for him to leave. For the star boy in Betis that went to
Anthony.
Betis, Anthony, he has been.
Goats. Yeah, Betis call him the goat.
He came with a whole lot of prospect and he came and things didn't work out for him. For the two English boys, Marcus Rashford and his brother Sancho, I think it's that time for them to leave too.
I get what's the name. Bayer Leverkusen are interested in Sancho.
He's good for him
as a replacement for Florian Wirtz, who could be on his way to Liverpool.
It's good for him.
All right, so there were so many transfer stories. What we'll try to do is get you the most confirmed gist. Now, so many players making move. Liam Delap is inching closer to Chelsea,
yeah.
right? They're also updated that Arsenal are searching for a striker. Chelsea, it's only Chelsea that wants to buy Delap. It's only Chelsea that wants to buy Tikite, the guy from Eintracht Frankfurt. It's only Chelsea that wants to buy Victor Osimhen. It's only Chelsea that wants to buy everybody. Let's just hope they buy who they need for next season, because the excuse for next year will be you can't just be fighting for top four, challenge for the title itself. All right, there'll be more stories around your favorite clubs right here on Sports in 60 Minutes. What we'll try to do is bring out those concrete stories and how those players will fit into the teams they're going to. Must say big thanks as well to everyone who's made this show possible, including Okwemi Moro today. I'm Femi. We'll be back next time. We'll get more stories, talk about Nigerian football and all the big developments and drama, just like we had at the National Sports Festival this year. There's so much drama. Kickboxing, we're fighting. Judo, we're fighting. Not on the carpet, but instead outside the carpet, physically. It's crazy. I love great stories, and that's why I say at this point, have yourself a great time wherever you are. Rest well, and wherever you go out, do what you've got to do, but most importantly, be careful and stay safe, everyone. I'm Femi. So we catch you next time. Bye for now.